This is FHM.com and that is a Nimrod MR2. It is a maritime patrol aircraft. It's also called ISTAR, which is Intelligence, Surveillance, Target Acquisition and Reconnaissance. What it does is pretty immense, and normally you don't get close to these things, but we at FHM.com have an exclusive.
Welcome, this is the Royal Air Force Maritime Nimrod MR2, based here at Kinloss. Top of the aircraft we've got the refuelling probe, which was brought in during the Falklands War, and underneath the aircraft, if you look, that is the biggest bomb bay in the world.
What kind of missions will you be involved in?
Well, we're permanently committed to operations in the Middle East, where we have crews and aircraft deployed. But within the United Kingdom, operations are less frequent, fortunately. And aside from search and rescue, the crews will conduct training in preparation for missions rather than missions themselves.
As well as entertaining FHM. But with our takeoff delayed by the Scottish weather doing what it does best, we were taken to the next best thing.
Welcome to our Kinloss. This is the dynamic simulator for the Maritime Nimrod, the Nimrod MR2. This is a direct representation of the current aircraft we have, and it's used for the flight deck, which consists of the two pilots and the air engineer, to practice the various drills. We can have bird strikes, hydraulic failures, electrical failures, and the guys have to go through the various drills, red cards, using their own prior knowledge to do fault rectification, to either continue the mission if it's essential, or return back to base.
Return back to base? Why would we do that?
Neil, FHM photographers, set the simulator on fire. We're trying to land in Gibraltar. It's highly doubtful we're going to make it.
He's doing very well.
These guys don't look too worried.
That's it. When I say pull back. Right. Right. That was better. We're on the runway.
On the runway and put firmly back in our place. And with the blizzard outside worsening, it was time to find out how the aircraft worked. And annoyingly, after what we've been through, it seemed all too easy.
Basic operation of the aircraft, up, down, left, right, and the steering wheel to control us while we're on the ground. We've got 4 engines on the aircraft, so we have 4 throttles to control it with, and the engine instruments associated with those just down the centre panel here.
With the snow cleared, it felt safe to go out and explore the sensitive side of the MR2.
One of the sensors on the Nimrod that we use frequently is the ESM, electronic support measures. It's used for intelligence gathering and to build up a surface picture. Magnetic anomaly detector that's used to detect magnetic disturbances from submarines. The other sensor that we have on the Nimrod is the Westcam MX-15 here, which is has an electro-optic lens for infrared and visual spectrum.
This is the tactical area of the aircraft. This is where all the information from all the sensors that you've seen down the back come to. All the information from everything comes through onto this screen. It's not loaded up at the moment, but when it is, we've got a map of where we are, representations of the ships, all the sonar buoys that we drop. The sonar buoys are dropped from this panel here.
We've got the fixed launchers, which we drop when we're pressurised. These ones here we can put 6 in. These are the rotary, which we drop depressurised.
This is the search water radar. This is probably the main sensor on the aircraft. We can track when we're in maritime mode up to about 40 contacts out to a range of 200 miles.
Then, after 12 hours of waiting, we were finally cleared for takeoff. Our mission was to take us across the North Sea towards Scandinavia. We're not allowed to say where, but we can tell you that earlier in the day, intelligence reports had sighted a submarine, possibly a ballistic missile carrying boomer, belonging to a very large Eastern European country operating in the area, and that's all we can say. It's impossible not to admire the professionalism and commitment of the crew, as well as the nutritional value of their diet. But even after seeing firsthand what this aircraft is capable of, we were still thinking of the headlines of recent years, and had to ask about the tragedy of 2006, where a Nimrod from RAF Kinloss crashed in Afghanistan.
Kinloss is a very tight-knit community. It had a huge effect on the entire community, civilian and military. Immediately following the crash, there were all the funerals, the memorial service, which was a very large stepping point for the station in moving forward and being able to come to terms with the tragedy and looking after the families, which goes on to this day. The repercussions of the accident itself still continue following the Board of Inquiry, the coroner's inquest and the independent review, which is still to report. But it has had a profound effect on the station, the community, and I think we'll have to live with that effect until the aircraft goes out of service.
The question that many people ask, and perhaps doubt fueled by that incident, but people people want to know, is the Nimrod safe to fly?
Well, everything that I have seen and everything that I've read brings me to only one conclusion, that absolutely the aircraft is safe.
And so the Nimrod Mr2, the mighty hunter as it is known, continues to rule our skies and help ensure that we and all our allies around the world can sleep safely. That is, at least until this comes into service around 2010, the Nimrod MRA4. It may look the same as the MR2, but the only thing the two have in common is a fuselage. The MRA4 boasts new, more powerful systems, a larger wing carrying advanced Rolls-Royce Deutschland turbofans, which are 25% more powerful than the MR2's Rolls-Royce Space. And the aircraft's maximum weight has increased from around 87 tonnes to 104 tonnes, which means more weapons like sidewinders on the wings, more sensors, more fuel, and yes, more donuts. And after a night roaming the skies and a return to a freezing cold Scotland, there was only one question left for FHM to ask.
What's that red button on the yoke?
This red button here?
That one?
This red button here was formerly used as our nuclear weapons button, which is no longer functional.